2025 is going to be a really tough year. Let's just be honest about it. I think a lot of people, especially people that were on the political right, are really understanding that they're not getting what they thought they were getting. Perhaps some people are happy, and that's whatever it is. But 2025 is going to be really, really tough for pretty much everybody. But I think especially for marginalized communities, that would be my queer community, that would be people of color, transgender community, of course, just immigrant community. I mean, so many communities, even to communities that are not marginalized. That's going to be really, really tough on, because I think that especially like elder people, disabled people, people like myself, I'm 61. I am eligible for Medicare or Social Security rather when I'm 62. So just in like maybe 9 months. And I've been kind of considering it, you know what I mean, to go ahead and take Social Security and then have like some kind of like a part-timey or off the grid kind of thing going on, so that I can at least have a basis of an income. But my point being, one of my goals is I've got, I guess, really three main goals. And that is to get my body back into a fully healthy state. Number two is to finally pay off all my credit card debt. I've been in such really a trauma survival state with taking care of my little brother for so many years that I just did whatever I had to do to make it work. And that included racking up credit cards, getting really, really terrible interest rate loans, to do things like paying attorneys and, building wheelchair ramps and buying new wheelchairs and buying new equipment, like stuff that this wasn't like, buying pretty stuff. This was making sure there was food on the table, making sure I had the equipment and the facilities available to take care of somebody that had to have 24/7 care. So, you know what I mean? I'm really proud of myself that I did that. However, he passed away a month ago, and like he was nonverbal, but he started talking to me before he passed away. And one thing I heard him say to me was, "It's time for you to advocate for yourself as strongly as you've advocated for me for all these years." So it's like I'm sort of waking up, in a lot of ways. And part of that waking up is really looking at like how much I'm spending every month on finance charges, but all this debt that I'm carrying. And it's not like a huge amount of debt, but it's debt, and it is a significant amount of the money that I pay to these companies goes straight to finance. So it doesn't even touch the principal balance. That's going to change. That is going to change. And part of, when you read Think and Grow Rich, part of it is number one, to cast what you will do. Sorry. I get all kinds of crazy phone calls. I tell you, if you ring on my phone and I don't have you pre-programmed in my phone, I don't answer, because you're supposed to leave a voicemail. Anyway, I wonder if anybody else is having the same thing happen. My phone rings all the freaking time. So that is the Think and Grow Rich tells you that not only should you forecast forward what it is that you want to accomplish, but that you also should have an idea of what you're going to do to get there. And so part of what I also want is not only income, but more freedom and more flexibility. So one of my main goals is to monetize this YouTube channel. I've always just sort of like, I don't know, I've used it as more of like a project kind of thing, but I want to get super serious. But at the same time, I have spent thousands of dollars on program. I mean, literally thousands. When I say thousands, it's above 10,000 that I've spent on webinars and going to conferences and joining programs and this and that. And what I have found is that when you're listening to people that are telling you how to do business, most of them are right in the middle of starting to build their business too. And most of what they say is very pre-scripted, nothing new. And when you actually look at the percentage of people that are actually successful following their programs, It's usually less than 10%, or even it's sometimes even less than 5%. So, I am no longer interested in spending just thousands and thousands of dollars on building, on coaching. I'm certainly willing to have a coach. I'm being very particular about who. And number two, I'm expecting my business to pay for that coaching. So I'm just gonna. You may see some wild stuff happening on this YouTube channel. I am just experimenting to see what works for me, because I did listen to one guy and he did talk about how you are your niche. And I'm just so tired of hearing the word niche, because I am so full rounded. I'm 61. I've been through a lot. I've been to prison. I have had the IRS come after me. I have had to take care of, a person that had to have 24/7 care, been through divorce, started out as straight, came out at 44 and to my gay life, now married to a man. My kid is transgender. I mean, I've just been through a lot. I also work with the angels. The dead people talk to me. So I'm very all rounded, and I can no longer just section off a part of myself and go forward. I am all of me, and all of me is going to be represented on this channel. And what I'm really looking for, I'm not looking for tons and tons and tons of subscribers. I'm looking for a community. I'm looking for really at least 1,000 people that are, in a space where they're looking for transformation. They're looking to change things around. Perhaps they've been in fear and anxiety, depression their whole life, which is something I've worked with. And they're looking for, how do I navigate that? How do I have a joyful, purposeful life that makes sense to me, and that where I leave a legacy of something, and where, I'm here for a reason and a purpose, and I am no longer under the dictates of somebody else. You know what I mean? I mean, part of this whole concept of whoever's in the White House can make life heck for us is also the agreement that there is some human that can dictate how we live life, and that is not no other human. I'm a human. Every single one of us is human. Every single one of us is part of the divine. There is no any one human that is more powerful than any of the rest of us individually. It's just that we have an agreement that they are more powerful. So I do not agree to that agreement. That is not something I will sign. If I signed it before, I rescind it, I revoke it, I tear it up, and I throw it in the fireplace and burn it. So from this point forward, if I can't work with a human being to help me become empowered, then I'm going to work with my universal self and my guides to help me to do that. So if that's something that you're interested in, I know that's a lot, but I'm a lot. Each one of us is a lot. There's going to be things about me that you're going to resonate with, things about me that you're not going to resonate with. So I want to hear your comments. I want to know what you're working with. I want to know what is coming up for you, because I want this to be a community, not just to feed me. You know what I mean? I mean, that at the end of the day, I need to be fed so that I can show up and really be fully present. And that's just part of it. But the major part of it is I want all of us to get fed. I want all of us to find what we need here to move forward. And I'm also writing books, and I have Udemy courses. Perhaps some of you are interested in that. I will be promoting some of those on my YouTube channel too. I've really moved away from Facebook, because I found that Facebook is just, it's like a pit of vipers. There's so many profiles on there that aren't even people, or are strictly people there to try to tear everybody down. And I'm just no longer interested. I've had to defriend or stop the feed from so many people that I'm just no longer even interested in Facebook all that much anymore. I simply use it as a repository to kind of keep my photos and my memories, because I do like when Facebook comes up and says, "Do you remember when?" That's kind of cool. So, however, I'm really going to be putting a lot more energy and effort on to this YouTube channel. And if you comment, I will respond, and help me to show up, because that's always kind of been a thing for me, is where I show up really strong for a short period of time, and then I get worn out and I have to really kind of retract back, because at the end of the day, it's really weird. I am a social introvert. I like being on stage. I like kind of being in control, but I don't like being in a loud crowd where I don't know what's going on. That really, so, and I like one-on-one conversations that I really do like. So and knowing that has been very super powerful for me to understand, because I used to think I was an extrovert and I acted like an extrovert, and it wore me out. And now I know that I'm a social introvert. So I have to play into both, showing up and also giving myself space too. Perhaps you're like that. So I'm changing or ending all of my videos here recently. One of the things that Tommy said to me, when I say he said to me, I heard it, in my mind as he was going away very soon. I asked him if everything was going to be okay. And he said, it always is. And I'll end it there.